dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Check, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring, son up, baby.
Hey yo, Scotty, we back. Appreciate you for reaching out. I'm like, hey, it's outspoken. A lot changed. Granted, the concept we still hosting. Giving you the fix you need when on the screen. The veteran, Captain Petty, giving you medicine. Come tap in. You know Scott gon' do what he do. Might not want to hear it, but here go the hard truth. Perry about the numbers, regret if you're not fact-based. When you run your lane, the numbers seem like a statue. Wait. Hey, Scotty, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think the people feeling it. Let me get in my bag a little bit, just showing what this outspoken really about to be like. Outspoken, this is more than conjecture. These days they laying people off. So glad that we got our own. Hunger insatiable, made for you if you say you objective. Hard truth offering, no offense, just perspective. Come get your dosage and go with me. We spit it like poetry. The pivot was pivotal. Could rhyme here, but I'd rather not. Some say Scotty, some call him Scott. The best one since Stewart. If you know, then you know. But if you don't, then you're lost. Let me be frank for a minute, cause we all know that's how Perry be. Break it down the game for what it was, no apologies. This my hypothesis, you tune in, you like watching it. It's common sense, obvious, competent, rugged, and confident. Hey, we outspoken. We outspoken. We outspoken. This is outspoken, and we gon' put on a show, even if we hear you say I can't. It's outspoken. Hey, back.
Woo! There we go. Happy Tuesday. You already know what it is. We're in the month of March. Women's Month. You already know what it is. It's your boy Scotty be back with another one. Come on, man. And you know it wouldn't be nothing without my brother from another. You know, for Barry White.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, am I live? Is this thing on?
Yeah. It's like,
Okay. I was doing something. You caught at me. What's up?
what's good?
I'm just happy to be here.
How many shades do you own, bro? Like, I swear to God, you got a different pair of shades every time I see you.
It's the same pair.
Really? It look different.
I can roll them out now if you need me to. I got multiple now. I got a whole collection, but I feel like I'm getting my Ocho on. You know, when I watch Ocho, he keep his on. I said, from the very jump, I've been rocking the shades.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you have.
I'm making it my thing. Ocho do his shades. Shannon wear his glasses. So I'm like, Scotty wear his glasses. Perry gonna wear his shades.
I need my glasses to see. Like, I wouldn't be able to see you if I didn't have my glasses on. You just wear shades just to wear. Are those prescribed? Are those prescription?
No, these just for cool. You don't wear contacts?
Yeah, I do, but
Because you used to wear your shades on here, bro.
No, I used to wear my contacts, and the thing is like, I'll be wearing like a year worth of contacts for like 6 months. Like, I don't know if you know how contacts work. You can get contacts for like 6 months.
Yeah,
but
I know how contacts work, bro.
I'll be stretching my jokers out for like a year and a half. Like, how about
you wait till they tear.
Boy,
Yeah.
be itching in your eye. Yeah, I do all that.
That's the problem. You can't sleep, man. Get them things up out your eyes. Only wear your contacts when needed, like if you're going out or if you're gonna be doing this show. Other than that, wear your glasses. Your glasses are good around the house, doing little things where it don't require much. You going grocery shopping, wear your glasses, okay?
Yeah.
You going out to have drinks, wear your contacts. All right.
I don't.
I'm teaching you something here. Learn when to use and not use.
I like, listen, I don't know if anybody if you don't wear glasses, you don't know the frustration of like getting in the bed and like taking your glasses off and you can no longer see the television. That bothers me. That's why I sleep in my contacts, because I'm like, I want to wake up and see the television.
That's why I don't sleep with the TV on. I learned that lesson.
What?
When I get sleepy, I'm on my phone. I know because I'm going to pass out with the phone, but other than that, I can't sleep with the TV on, man. That TV, it bothers me. It wakes me up throughout the night. I don't do that. I take my glasses, I put them on the nightstand. That's where they at. Other than that, I'm passed out.
Back in the day, and we're gonna get to our special guest real quick, but back in the day, it was nothing like waking up to Body and Soul infomercial. It was nothing like it. People bracing in the background, and I used to love that. The Body and Soul infomercials. I used to love that, man. Back in the day.
You wake up and that dude don't be God said. God.
You're like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, that's why I cut the TV off. I ain't got time for all that. I wake up. I can't sleep with light and none of that. I need dark. I wake up to the sunlight. So
listen, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not afraid of the dark, but my mind get to wondering when it get pitch black in the room. Like, I just be like,
you got your wife next to you, man. Ain't nobody in there.
It's not this. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you straight up. When it's pitch black in the house, like and it's from a little kid, but like if I'm turning all the lights off and I'm going upstairs, I be like, something's behind me. Just mentally,
you scared of the dark, bro. You too goddamn grown to be scared of the dark.
I'm not scared of the dark. I just think there's something behind me all the time. That's why I be like, I
live life right then. Stop messing with folks, and then maybe you'll stop thinking something behind you. Tell you messing with folks. Captain Petty Sergeant Smoke, Pooh Shiesty can't be up here talking about somebody behind him.
No, you just don't know, man. The world is weird, man. Let's pay some bills. Look, you want elite protection? Get yourself some Elite 15 coffee, veteran old black old. You scared of the dark and you want to stay up late? Listen, get some Elite 15 coffee today. Link in description below. Black owned, veteran owned business. Make sure you support. Listen, man, today's special guest, I don't even know how me and him connected, but it was good dude. We met at the HBCU Legacy Bowl last year. Everybody should know this, man. I mean, the football, you've been doing this for a long time. Football game plan, football czar. You catch him on CBS doing his college football analysis. I don't know if I really think he should get hired for somebody's GM position. I'm not gonna hold you. That's just me personally. I think he should be hired for a GM position. But listen, the one, the only, please give it up for today's special guest, Emory Hunt. Yeah.
Can I ask the first question to Mr. Hunt? Mr. Hunt.
What's good?
You scared of the dark, bro?
It's funny hearing that conversation because we don't even have a TV in our bedroom.
Really?
That all that light. Other than that, I'm on my phone, but Scotty need a night light.
I just feel comfortable with the TV on. I just always been like that since I was a kid. I just like the TV on. What's wrong with the TV being on?
Ain't nothing under your bed, bruh. Ain't nothing coming out. Major Payne told you if he's still in there, he ain't happy. You saw when he shot it, he was scared something was in the closet. He shot the closet.
Yeah.
If he in there, he ain't happy. Maybe you need to shoot the closet one night.
Check. But listen,
This dude, he come on here and as tough as he is, and this dude's scared of the dark.
it's nothing wrong with just having the light on. What's wrong with What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with that. Just having the light on. There's nothing wrong with that. Jesus, that's why they
Are
make
your kids scared of the dark too? Or they're a little bit tougher?
my daughter, no. My son, he a little. It might pass down the genes or something. I don't know.
So you, I'm gonna ask him, then we can move on because I need Mr. Hunt. You let us know too. You need sound in the house when you you just can't be in the house and it's quiet, right?
No, that's always been me. Like even studying, like I can't study at a library; it's just too quiet. Like I just need some type of like noise behind me. I don't know. I've always been like that. Like I just can't. If it's like completely, my mind get the racing. Yeah, I don't know. It just be like something's going on. Like it's just too quiet. Like I don't know, man. I've always had to
pray, brother. You got to pray. That's what my mama used to tell me. I would wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning out of nowhere, and I did this for probably a few months, especially when COVID happened. And I was just restless. My mom said that time in the morning you just need to pray. I prayed. I got up. I started walking. You may need to do some type of exercise. You do something to get your mind, man. Get your mind back on track. You need to take control of your mind. Or is you just sitting around just thinking about what ways can you be petty today?
No, that's like that's how I really start the day. Listen, let's get right into it. Emory, I know you got a lot of stuff. You're a busy man. This is a busy season for you. As such a football fanatic, right? Like the one question I've always wanted to ask you is, how do you watch everybody? Like that is so phenomenal to me. Like you can have this football game plan and you have all these breakdowns of different players and positions. You got O-line and you being a skill player to still be able to evaluate the O-line and D-line. It just always fascinates me. So my first question is how do you do it? And when you're doing O-line, how long did it take you to kind of understand the process of what that was?
It's really just compartmentalizing and just working on tasks, to be honest. So let's say, for instance, when I'm grading for the draft guide that's going to come out, it's really like high school recruiting where you watch one position straight through. So if I have 85 grades on quarterbacks, I watch 85 quarterbacks in a row. So that way you see Caleb Williams and you see, who your last rated quarterback is. But in between that, you have pinpoints. Okay, I know what arm strength looks like. And so it becomes easier to, grade guys like that. And I do that for each position. So that way I'm not, cross training. Because once you start, by the time you get to your 10th quarterback, the next 30 is going to be like boom, 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 boom. And that's how it is for all positions until I'm done. So, and you just realize, like, if I'm going to all these all-star games, I better have a scout report on at least 95% of those guys that's participating. Otherwise, why I'm going out there, right? So that's why, I travel a lot, but I also make sure this time when I'm working on a draft guide that it's just making sure you get through each and every position before you move on. Get through one position before you move on to the next position.
Gotcha.
Unc and Ocho said to hell with the guys that graded them during the NFL Combine because they graded them as elves. And you look at Unc ultimately going on being a NFL Hall of Fame and Ocho having a great career. So I got to ask, because they say that, what gives the credentials of someone to give the grade of a potential NFL prospect?
I mean, you just better have, you know, a good eye for spotting talent, understanding what talent is and how talent works and how it's going to fit at the next level. And also just how to really rework your process. So if you're watching guys and you're in it for the long haul, then you're going to have some whiffs, but you're also going to have some wins. And you should be able to, I should be able to drop you off at a Division III game, and you should be able to pick out the guy or guys that can play at the next level. So there's really no, there's no school you can go to. A lot of it does come from practical experience. And even that case, you can still see things wrong, because this was something I had to learn when I was coaching back right out of college, right? Where you are coaching someone and you're expecting them to do things or understand things that you did and you understood, but not realizing they are not you. So it's hard for some guys to really break that mold or break through that. And so as far as evaluating, let's say, for instance, the quarterback position. If you only thought the quarterback should be played one way or looks one way, then you're going to always have a blind spot. Same with any position, but just using quarterback as an example, which is why a lot of guys now currently have struggles in grading quarterbacks that don't look 6'5", 230, strong jawline and 1, 2, 3 progression, hit the flight. They have
and
issues.
white.
There you go. So they have
Let's
issues.
just put it out there in white.
They have issues in grading quarterbacks that look different. Same with running backs. I remember when I first started evaluating. Now I played running back, but it was like the era I played running back in. It was basically, one cut downhill type gap scheme, right? And it took me a while to really understand it. These kids nowadays, from little league to high school to college, are running zone. And I can't look at this game like I did just, I started football game playing in 07 and I was done playing in 02. So even from that time to then, the game had changed. And so I can't look at it in terms of how it used to be. You got to adapt with the times. And a lot of guys just can't adapt.
Let's go FCS and then kind of move into Power 5. FCS wise, this is an HBCU. We talk a lot of HBCU. Who are some of your top prospects that HBCU fans should be salivating to get drafted if possible this year? Or just somebody like, even if they don't get drafted, this kid is something special?
Well, I think this is a really good HBCU defensive back class. Just so far, again, I haven't gotten to DBs yet, but just from, calling games, watching games live, and then, going to these all-star games, you got a lot of talent and length at cornerback and guys that have ball skills. Obviously, Mikey Victor of Alabama State comes to mind. Cedric Anderson of Grambling, had a really good HBCU Legacy Bowl. He's 6'3". Jordan Haywood out of Benedict, another guy that has length, athleticism, had a really good Hula Bowl and performed well down at the HBCU Legacy Bowl as well. So Jordan Tolles, the safety from Morgan State, and also looking at a shorter guy in Javion Morton, who, he's been on the All-Emory Hunt team since he's been at Morgan State, and he makes a lot of plays on the ball. He does a great job in playing, the short area zone. He's a good nickel corner. Had a really good college gridiron showcase, and then double that with the play down at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. So I think defensive backs are all the wave right now in terms of how long they are. Sans Javion Morton, but these are some tall, long corners that have some ability.
Let's look at FCS and HBCU, right? Because I talk about this a lot on this show, that when we talk about HBCUs, they kind of get categorized all the same. Not Division I, not Division II, not NAIA, but when you say HBCU, you can't really differentiate what division. But let's go Division I FCS, right? When you look at guys on the FCS level, HBCU, SWAC, MEAC, and then you compare them against FCS guys and other conferences around the nation, for you, the style of play, does it really matter when you're looking at HBCU football? And then let's say you're looking at a Sacramento State, a Youngstown State, North Dakota State. How do you judge that talent when you look at what they're playing each and every week and maybe what HBCUs are playing each and every week?
You know, that's a good question, because even in the HBCU Legacy Bowl, you see the difference in styles between MEAC and CIAA versus SWAC and SIAC. There's a different style of play, just like there's a different style of play in the CAA as opposed to, the Big Sky. Big Sky, you get a little bit of everything. CAA, you're going to get a lot of power, right? But when you're grading prospects, you got to be cognizant of, okay, what translates to the next level? Speed, agility, quickness, skill set, that translates regardless of who you're playing. But what I like to do is try to find those cross conference matchups. So if I'm looking at a guy from Florida A&M, I'm going to go watch their FBS game, or I'm going to go watch a game from them out of conference. If I'm looking at someone in the SWAC, I'm going to go see if they played someone in the MEAC, and so on and so forth. You want to see them against unfamiliar opponents, which is why the All-Star game circuit is so huge, because you get to see pound for pound. Okay, Mikey Victor was this tall corner at Alabama State, and he was doing a great job there, just like the previous year, 2 years ago, when Keenan Isaac was out there for Alabama State.
Yeah.
Then I saw him at the NFLPA Bowl and did a fantastic job out there against Power 5 opponents. Okay, now we're at the Hula Bowl. I want to see if Mikey Victor can hold down this wide receiver from Old Dominion, this wide receiver from UAB, because I've seen him do that against Prairie View A&M. And now you're getting a true one-to-one and seeing what really translates and what he can potentially be moving forward.
So it seems like, and I keep saying the tape matters, right? Because even when you go to the combine and you have these guys run crazy times, it makes you go back and say, does that translate? Do I see the 4.4 on the field? Do I see the 4.5 on the field? Or like a guy like the Florida State running back who runs a 4.6, but I'm like, bro, like I've never seen you get ran down, from a play from behind. So, it all matters when it comes to, and we try to tell the people this every day, in and out day, is that the tape matters, and who you play also does matter. I want to talk about a guy you've watched a few times and you commentated on, and I hope I'm saying his name right, Jaden Sheridan from Monmouth. You're a running back. He's a running back. How does his game translate to the next level, him being invited to the NFL Combine, and where do you see him kind of fitting in this whole thing?
Speed translates, man. This dude is lightning fast. And it's crazy because, I remember Monmouth had me do their signing day special. And this was during COVID. So this was the 2020, maybe 2021 signing class, and we were still wearing masks. It was still social distancing. And I remember, Coach Callahan hit me up when we were getting ready for the event. He was like, "You're going to like this running back we got from Connecticut." His name Jaden Sheridan, and he sent me his tape. I'm watching it. I'm like, there was this one game he played in high school where it was legitimately a monsoon. Everybody out there is slipping and falling except him. It's like the field was dry for him. He had just tremendous control, and so he didn't play as a freshman. He kind of like gray shirt or red shirt, I think it was, because that was a year you got the free year, right? So he was there, but he didn't play. I think, or maybe it was the spring season. He didn't play in the spring season. He was playing in the fall, kind of like what Shador did with Jackson State. He was there, but he didn't really
play. He waited for the next to come up. Yeah,
bingo. So that's what happened. So the fall, I want to say like the first time he touched the ball, first couple plays he played, I was like, man, this dude, he should be the starter. But they had a great back in front of him, right? That matter of fact, Owen Wright is now playing for the Baltimore Ravens, so he was already in front of him. And so every time he touches the ball, it's just like you sit on the edge of your seat because he's about to go. They played Hampton this year, and I think it was raining there here in Jersey, and he had about him. Huh?
Oh, he killed him.
That
game. Yeah.
And he nearly and the coach probably could have left him in. He probably would have had 400 yards rushing that day, but he pulled him out. And so I get that, but Sheridan is someone who's super explosive. He's dynamic. And I always say people said the same things about Tariq Cohen. Well, he's kind of small, he's smallish. I'm like, bro, listen, you can't hit what you can't catch, you can't hurt what you can't touch. So you got to catch him first to hurt him. And if you ain't catching him, then you ain't hurting him. And that's what helps him out, in my opinion, is Keaton Mitchell doing what he did for Baltimore as a legit speed guy. So now teams are like, okay, well, we can get a guy like that in our offense. He may not get 25 carries like he was carrying the ball at Monmouth. We may only give him 10. Well, hell, he only need 10. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that type of game breaking ability is what you need. And Sherten is that in spades.
Man. You know, you look at guys that you evaluate, and can you admit when you're wrong?
Always. And here's the thing. This is the part about that I always find fascinating, because you could be right 1,000 times, and you whiff on a player, and you'll be highlighting your, I call this guy, here's my scout report, this guy. There's always that one person, but you was wrong about this. Like, well, that's understood. What's understood should need to be said, right? If I told you that this guy was going to be I thought, prime example, I thought Deshaun Kaiser was up there with the Mahomes, the Watsons in that class. I had it Watson, Mahomes, Kaiser, all three ahead of Trubisky, right? I had PJ Walker ahead of Trubisky. And who else? Somebody else ahead, but I didn't think Trubisky was that good, right? But I thought Kaiser was right there. I thought you could get Kaiser and start him. Obviously, that didn't work out. But I'm not going to sit there and say, yeah, I was wrong about Kaiser. I mean, it's kind of evident, right?
Yeah.
So, but people also love to not talk about your wins. They'll just forget you said something that was like, hey, Lamar Jackson's the number one quarterback in the draft. And people, they'll say this now. Well, we all thought he would be good. It took the system and nah. Y'all said he wasn't that good. I told you, but people don't, call that out. So I'm gonna call out when I win, because there's 1,000 people ready to call out when you don't win. But you have to admit you miss something. Otherwise, you're gonna continue to have that blind spot for why you miss. If you don't understand why you miss, then you're gonna keep missing for the same reasons.
And wanted to follow up with that, because I asked, can you admit when you're wrong? When you look back at guys you have evaluated since you've been doing this, what's that one guy, when you think about it, you look back, you was like, I was just totally wrong on that, and he's going on to have a successful career?
Man, that's a good question. If I think going on to have a successful career, I can say this. I would say probably my grade was way too low on, let's say, a Justin Herbert, because statistically he has had success. Where I didn't like Herbert was I thought he stunk situationally, which is kind of true. He leads the league in fourth quarter interceptions since he's been in the league, but I didn't think he would be as productive as he was. So, and also, I had higher grades on Mayfield, Rosen, Darnold over Josh Allen. I felt like Josh Allen from 20 to 20 was a mixed bag. You couldn't figure out what you were going to get. But inside the 20, I thought he was excellent. Up until I want to say like last year or whatnot, it was dead true how inside the 20 he didn't turn the ball over. Right? That's how he was at Wyoming. Like, it was weird. Once he got inside the red zone, the accuracy was better, the decision making was better, and he was much more judicious as a runner. And you just wonder, like, why can't he do this, from the 20 to 20? So I just thought that type of, inconsistency it'll get a coach fired. So clearly that was a misevaluation of his growth and, his overall skill set. And so that would be probably a better example of one that, my evaluation was wrong. And it turned out that this guy is on his way to a very good career, or having a very good career.
Who's a steal? And we're talking FCS Power 5 that you're just like, get this kid in a room, get this kid on a team, and he's going to be something special. Who's somebody that you just feel like is flying underneath the radar that people should be looking out? Power 5, FCS, doesn't matter to me, but that you think it can be something special coming up in this year's draft?
Well, special is kind of hard, because that a lot determines, special in terms of like situation, opportunity. But I will say one guy that's vastly underrated. It's a receiver. It's Kyle Sheets out of Slippery Rock. He's 6'2", 222. He can stack and track with the best of them. Great hands, great hand-eye coordination, good acceleration. And it's funny because I remember I was watching a game just to check him out because I saw his name kept popping up on my radar, and it was like, this is someone that has produced a hell of a lot at Slippery Rock, and Slippery Rock has a track record of producing really good players.
Slippery Rock,
Rock, just outside of Pittsburgh.
What is that like? What
level?
D2. It's a D2 school.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, they produce a ton of talent every year, whether it's O-line or pass rusher or corner. It's a great bounce back program from guys transferring from Pitt, from a lot of these FBS programs. They tend to end up at Slippery Rock. So
sounds like last chance you
right
all over it.
And Slippery Rock plays in a very good D2 conference in the PSAC, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, right? With Indiana University of Pennsylvania, California University of Pennsylvania, all these schools, Westchester, East Stroudsburg. And this dude, Kyle Sheets, just came his first game back from injury because he had missed, I think, like 2 or 3 games. First game back, they first play the game, first pass of the game, they bomb it out. He's beating the DB, hauls it in, touchdown. I'm like, this dude got it. Then he went down to the College Gridiron Showcase and was killing it there as well. So I think people are sleeping on him. He's going to get an opportunity, and he's going to go in there, and he's going to ball out wherever he goes because I know he has the skill set.
Let's look at some offensive guys coming out of the SWAC, the MEAC, and HBCUs and put them on the forefront for your evaluation, because I think a lot of times when we have these conversations with people, they look at the dominance that this guy has had, perhaps maybe on that level in conference play, and then they see that level of dominance that he had in conference play, and they assume that he should be able to be at the mountaintop of that. He's draftable, and they tend to forget about the rest of the group of guys that are out there, not only just on the FCS, but you're talking about a guy that says Slippery Rock, right? Never even heard of the damn school before in my life, right? And that's why I had to actually make sure. But not only that, you're watching the combine. I'm watching the D lineman run. It's 40 to 50 guys running. I'm looking at the speed. I'm looking at the size. I'm looking at the linebackers. But then let's just look at the offensive side. Let's take a guy like Davius Richard, right? North Carolina Central, 6'2", 225 pounds, runs a 4.6 in the 40. Got hurt in the HBCU Legacy Bowl, but nonetheless, a dual threat quarterback, a guy that I think has the high end potential and the NFL build as a quarterback that perhaps of any of the guys I've seen before that have come through in the HBCU landscape, he seemed to have give you the build. And I would say probably the best build of potential since a guy like Tavares Jackson. But you look at the quarterback, and let's start there, and then we'll move on. But starting with him, what do you see with the intangibles of a guy like a Davius Richards, Offensive Player of the Year coming out of the MEAC, Celebration Bowl champion, but then having those intangibles as a dual threat quarterback? Does he have that to be able to make it to the next level?
I thought he had a really good Hula Bowl week, and it seemed like, the coach Brian Billick took a liking to him. Every rep, he'll come chat with him and say, okay, this is what I saw, this is what you saw, and here's how you could. So I thought he was working with him really well. So I thought he had a really good Hula Bowl. Showed you the live arm. He can make every throw. I think he's a little bit streaky, but the athleticism is there, and that +1 capability. I feel like his game was a lot like how Dak Prescott's game was coming out of Mississippi State, where you saw something click for Dak his last season with Mississippi State. He was like, man, this dude actually got something. And it just took an opportunity for him to get drafted by the Cowboys and really carry that over to camp. And he had a really good Senior Bowl that year. I thought he outperformed Wentz at the Senior Bowl. And so it's unfortunate that Richard got hurt because now that limits his potential in terms of maybe getting drafted. I thought he had a good offseason to where he was playing himself into a day 3 pick. Still may happen. It's not like he had, it's just a dislocated ankle, but it is a dislocated ankle. but your game is predicated on your dual threat capability. And you hope someone gives him an opportunity to come in there and compete, because I do think he can, at worst, be a QB2. Especially what we watched every year in the NFL. Well, we're going to see backups play, and you got some. I mean, why can't he go out there and do at least what Tommy DeVito did? And he had a more decorated career than Tommy DeVito, and so I just feel like it's about giving this guy an opportunity. And he'll go out there, and the preseason is big for him, and he'll go, and hopefully he's back for the preseason. I doubt it, but man, that's why that ankle injury was so severe in terms of when it happened, and the timing of it, because him not playing in a preseason, or potentially not playing in a preseason, is going to be very tough for him to really make an impact.
I know you was talking about the running back position. Now you start to look at guys. Let's take a Jarvion Howard from Alcorn State, 5'9", 215 pounds, ran a 4.52 in the 40, right? Transferred from Syracuse, had over 2,000 rushing yards at Alcorn, but also has the potential to be a great pass catcher out the backfield. But you look at the height. You look at the same way of Ladarius Owens coming out of Texas Southern. Their all-time leading rusher in school history, 5'8", 185 pounds. He runs a 4.56 in the 40. Over 3,000 yards rushing in his career. Then a guy like Latrell Collier coming from North Carolina Central, playing with Davius Richard, 5'8", 197 pounds, running at 4.7 in the 40. When you start to look at that 5'9", 5'8", do these guys, although they had the success on this level at the HBCU level, right? And we get excited because we watch these guys week in and week out, and we watch the success that they have. But that don't necessarily translate when you look at the next level, especially not only the speed, but the size that you're looking for in a running back position that, for me, is ultimately dwindled when you're talking about the value of what a running back really means to an offense in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be the short guy, then you better be the fast guy too. And you notice it, just being at the HBCU Legacy Bowl, you notice a lot of buzz surrounding Owens' teammate. It was a bigger back, and didn't really get a lot of opportunity at Texas Southern because he was behind Owens. But Owens was, the primary bell cow. Owens impressed too, but you saw the reserve. His name slips my mind, but he's a bigger back.
Ja'Cory Howard.
Ja'Cory Howard.
Ja'Cory Howard.
So, he's about 5'11", 220, 5'10", 220. That was more appealing to a lot of the pro scouts. But Howard from Alcorn, interesting situation that happened. So he goes out there Monday, runs at that time in the 40, catches the ball well in the positional drills, had a 10.8 broad jump, which was impressive. So had a great workout at the combine. The next day was the practices of the Legacy Bowl. He had one practice and then shut it down. Now, I don't know if he tweak something to pull something, or just like, what, I don't need to play in this practice or this all-star game. I did what I need to do. I got tape to stand on, and I just went out there and ran like low 4.5, unofficial 4.4. So he had a good start to the week. And it was interesting that he just shut down in the middle of the night and just was gone. But he puts himself into either day 3 or a priority free agent. But if you're going to be the short guy, like we talked about, like Jaden Sheridan measured in at 5'7.5", and also Frank Gore Jr. measured in at 5'7". But these dudes can legit fly. So if you can't be running 4.6 at 5'8", you better be running 4.4, 4.3. So when you're that height and you don't have that speed, you almost automatically, from an NFL perspective, put yourself in free agent territory.
And that's why I'm gonna round it. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm gonna round it out with the wide receivers, because I want to go down, because when I think people look at these skill position guys, we're not even talking about in the trenches, because we know that's where the difference making it is, right? When you start to talk about those big boys in the trenches, but just the skill position players, right? And we're talking about coming from the HBCU level. There are a world full of skill position players out there. And when you're looking at skill position players, not only are you looking at the intangibles, but you're looking at the speed, and you're looking at what do they bring to the table. Like a guy from North Carolina A&T, right? Tamon Cook, 5'10", 184 pounds, ran a 4.4 in the 40. He's a guy that may not be necessarily a wide receiver type for you, but he's a guy that can help you in the return game. Another guy that I like is Marcus Riley coming from Florida A&M, 5'10", 167 pounds, ran a 4.5 in the 40, played quarterback, transition to wide receiver, also deadly in the return game. And then a guy like August Petrie from Southern University, transferred from Rice, 6'1", 174 and pound, 4.5. What are you looking for in a receiver when you're talking about going to the next level? These are guys that may not necessarily be these 6 foot plus guys, but they have the speed enough to be the return guys for you.
Well, in Cook's case, absolutely he has a return ability because he showed that at an All-American level. He has great acceleration. He has the ability to really, find a second and third gear to hit the home run from a kickoff return specialist perspective. For the other guys, you want to see them, especially if you're the kid from FAMU, you want to see if he can return punts and or kicks, number one, but also how developed of a route runner he is. I thought he ran very, very good routes. He's not just a small guy. He's just a receiver that just so happens to be shorter and slim. And the crazy part about that is even with Petrie, because he's a lean receiver as well. He kind of reminds me of the kid the Giants have out here in Darius Slayton, that lean guy. But when you think about these smaller guys coming from a lower level, but more specifically HBCU level, if weight is the biggest concern, I could put weight on you, as a pro team. We know you're gonna have better access to consistent nutrition, a training table, strength and conditioning. But if the skill is there, you gamble on the skill because I can put weight on you. I can get you right, from a nutritional standpoint. And I think that's where a lot of scouts start to look at these players and say, okay, is the raw skill there? To the point where it becomes, let's say, for instance, if we're looking at a Tariq Cohen, he's 5'6", but man, that agility is insane. The playmaking ability is insane. He can return kicks and punts. We can take the chance on that because all of that translates. Now, if you're just a receiver, and it's grading receivers, I think I grade about close to 100. You'd be surprised how many guys are 6'1", 170 or 5'11". It's just insane. So I know from an NFL level that deals with way more numbers than I just dealt with. It's like, okay, well, what's the separating factor from, this 6'1" guy from that 6'1" guy? And a lot of times those three numbers with the dot behind the first number in the 40-yard dash. And it's sad, but it is a fast game, a big man's game and a fast man's game. And that's where guys can truly make up ground.
Man, Emory, my last question before we get you up out of here, I got to put you on the hot seat. I still think you should be a GM. Who is your number one pick? The league is a quarterback-driven league. We all understand that. Who is your guy? Because I know you say you don't do the mock draft. That ain't your thing. You like, hey, I rank them, and you take them as they go. But if you're a GM, you got the number one pick, right? You're starting the team. Who are you starting with?
If I'm the Chicago Bears, I'm keeping Justin Fields, number one. But if I'm just a team that has a number one pick, Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams can do everything outside of the play call that you need to do. Jaden Daniels can do it as well, but Caleb Williams is younger, and has been more consistent during his time, not only at Oklahoma but also at USC. So I would say Caleb Williams. That's an easy one for me. The other two at the bottom they didn't even factor because my 1 and 2 quarterbacks are Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. So you can't go wrong with those two.
For me, and Perry, I'm going to ask your opinion. I'm going Jaden Daniels. And the only reason I'm going Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams is because I do believe the play caller is a big factor into how somebody fits with that team. If he would have went to USC and had a completely different offensive coordinator and he still did what he did, I would lean more Caleb Williams. But I like that Jaden Daniels changed situations and essentially grew as a quarterback and became something that a lot of people saw the talent, but they just wanted to see it predicated on the field. And JJ and Drake, I think they're just too inconsistent for me. Drake May is too inconsistent for me. everything has to be off the cuff with him. Like it got to be out the pocket and him moving and shaking it, and it just not. It's not that. You could have had Michael Penix in here as well. I'm a big fan of Michael Penix. I think he's a dog as well, but it just is what it is. So my pick would be Jaden Daniels. Perry, what you got?
I'm shocked Michael Penix didn't get even higher than what he is, considering his arm strength, his running ability, and just watching what he was able to do at Washington. I like Jaden Daniels. Had an opportunity to go check him out a lot at LSU in person. I don't know how he'll translate with that dual threat ability and the longevity in the NFL. And if I have to look at Jaden Daniels and Justin Fields, for me, I'll go Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is a lot more battle tested and can handle that a lot more, if you ask me, than Jaden Daniels. But when I look at Caleb Williams, I think Caleb Williams, just with his arm, you look at what he's been able to do, just get into USC. Wasn't he at Oklahoma at first before?
Yeah.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Yeah. I just think, and if, he's going to get tested by a lot of people that say, well, what did you do this past season? And I get that. But I think what he has with the ability, if you get him, because Jaden Daniels, for me, needs a system to be built around him. He's not a plug and play type of guy. I think Caleb Williams is kind of, for me, a plug and play type of guy. You can put him in, and his arm strength is enough for him to get you wherever you probably need to get. He just needs that development and maturity for the NFL for him to continue going. But out of all of those guys, bro, I'm going to just be real. I like Michael Penix Jr. I think there's not a lot of respect that's put on him. And he's a guy that I believe has shown me with the arm strength that and we talk about quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks, just pure arm strength, being able to evaluate the field. And at any given day, if he's healthy, for me, I think he's one of the top quarterbacks and a lot higher than a lot of these guys in terms of what his ability is and what he can bring to a team.
Emory, go ahead, Emory. Go ahead.
I will say this, like, it's weird with Penix because, and someone did this online. They did it multiple times from the combine and also from his season highlights. If you just flip it to where he's right-handed, no one would have an issue with how he throws. Ooh. And they'll see it like, dang, he really got a gun. He really could put that thing where it needs to be. It's just because he's left-handed, it looks awkward to people. So if I'm Pittsburgh, if I'm the Raiders,
that's a great hit for Pittsburgh.
Right. So you talk about someone plugging and playing, that's the guy right there. But I will say this though, man. Like I know, we talk a lot about the HBCUs. Man, they're missing the boat because the best way to ensure the HBCU prospects get drafted high and we're not talking about priority free agents is consolidation of resources. And by that, I mean, I know the messenger wasn't the right messenger, but the message was on point when Deion Sanders talked about making sure the MEAC and SWAC combine. And hear me out. Right now, there's two that you can have your cake and eat it too. The Ivy League and HBCUs are two unique brands that can, in this football landscape, that can create revenue based off their brand alone. We know about the Ivy League. We know HBCUs can monetize stuff around it. Scotty, you talked about this ad nauseum. So if you're looking at the FBS and people will quickly throw out, oh, we can't do it. Man, if you look at some of these endowments, right, and you look at it, maybe like a good 10 to 12 teams right now in HBCU football that are tailor-made to be FBS programs and can be FBS. Therefore, you're getting that money, that TV money. You're getting the money from what you create outside of football, the bands and all those other stuff that HBCUs do. You keep your FCS, HBCUs as a place where people can get their money up to where now they have a landing spot when they move up to FBS. But you look at some of these big dogs, Florida A&M, Tennessee State, A&T, Southern, Grambling. You look at all of Tuskegee, low key, got money. And if they just want to go and enroll in football. Morehouse has money. If they just want to go and enroll in football, it can be done. And therefore, you won't have a situation where we're talking about if this guy could be a priority free agent. If they consolidate resources, become one HBCU conference, I think they could do it. And now is probably the time to do so because they're sleeping on a lot of this homegrown talent. There's no reason why they can't be a Sun Belt conference. No reason why.
Let me. Okay. So let me get this straight. If you move 10 teams up, let's keep it hypothetical. You move 10 teams up and they do the same thing that they've always done, which is play each other, but now they play a few games outside of conference. What is it like? Is 11 games in college football?
Well, so let's say you play
8
2 games out of conference.
Yeah, so 2 games out of conference. Does that make up for the lack of competition? That you moved up to an FBS conference, you're now playing 2 out of conference games in the FBS group of 5 or whatever. Do you think that's enough to take away the level of competition is not there?
Yep, because we've seen it done with the Sun Belt Conference. We've seen it done consistently with teams that move up. Now, all of a sudden, because it's funny because you see what was James Madison. They were doing the same thing in the FCS. Now they FBS, and everybody looking at their prospects and like, oh, James, like they was just in FBS last year or FCS last year. So it's crazy how you could just change the address, but the house stay the same, and people look at you completely differently, right? The zip code changes, but the house still the same, and people look at you differently. So if and everybody wants to play big dogs, right? They want to be big. I guarantee if they move to FBS, watch how much Tyler Perry, Oprah money start rolling in when they're now on national TV competing in bowl games, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, wherever insert, Cracker Barrel Bowl they going to, right? Those games will be sold out, and it could happen but it will require egos to come to the table and leave those outside. These school presidents got to see the vision, and this is a conversation I've also had with NFL scouts too.
I like the idea, but I think just traditionally we have not gotten those wins for us to quite solidify ourselves, whether we FCS or FBS, and then get into a conference of playing each other and then only having 2 games outside of conference. Because I think the very thing is being said now when we look at HBCU competition, and the first thing when a scout or anybody looks at that competition or those guys playing on that level is saying, well, who have they played? Who are they playing? James Madison is a team that has played for national championships, right? Sam Houston is a team that won a national championship. Jacksonville State, who has moved up, Georgia Southern, Appalachian State. These not teams that, were just run-of-the-mill FCS squads. These are teams that have positioned themselves to be some of the top FCS schools, have went out and beaten FBS schools, and then were able to transition. We still have struggles just beating an FCS school. Let's take Florida A&M. They went to the FCS playoffs, right? Had they success in the SWAC, but then they go to the FCS playoff and go against a somewhat decent Southeastern team who didn't make it past the next round because who did they run into? They ran into James Madison, right? Southeastern coming out of the Southland. I don't think the strength of who we are yet outside of us has quite conditioned us to be prepared to then move up to FBS and say, well, we can play each other, and that's going to automatically get more eyes. I think we have to collectively show from the talent that we do have that we can at least beat somebody of status and stature, at least on the FCS level. Then when we move up to the FBS level, we can come with some bragging rights. I don't think we have enough bragging rights outside of each other currently in order to be successful, to where the respect will come if a scout is looking and have respect on that conference. Said if we mix the MEAC and the SWAC, I just don't think the respect will be there. I think it'll still be looked at as the same. That who are they playing?
The pushback I have is South Alabama, UTSA were brand new programs and went from no program to FCS to FBS. Kennesaw State is going to went from no program to FCS to now they're FBS next year. So all is about moving up. And I saw someone just commented, you get different quality of player. I guarantee if one of the major hangups they have on a recruiting trail is, man, I want to play FBS ball. So if you are now Southern, you have a 20,000 seat stadium, and obviously I played at University of Louisiana, so I know the biggest monkey wrench in that state is if Southern was to say, "Oh, yeah, we FBS too." It's like, dang. So now we are competing for the same player, and some of those guys that some of these schools that have gotten fat from some of these players, And you think about where a lot of these HBCUs are located in hotbed major metro cities. Is I said this, and so it could be game over. Just like I said for the Ivy League, if they just decided to take football seriously and get to partake in this NIL deal, it's over. They got colonial money. They got Fortune 500 money. If they just decide to say, you know what, we want to play this game too, and so who's gonna turn down, a offer from Harvard and Yale, knowing that okay, I'm gonna get paid, but at the end I get to go work for Wells Fargo? Like what?
Let me ask you this, because 20 years ago, when you're talking about UL like Arkansas State, those Sun Belt teams that Arkansas State for a while nobody paid attention to. UL nobody paid attention to. But the investment, you start to see like Hugh Freeze, Gus Malzahn, you start to see it become a platform of coaches saying, I can go here and have success and then jump up to the next level. The same way you saw with UL. What's the coach that's at Florida now?
Napier,
Billy Napier. But what did it take? And for you being an alum of and understanding playing at UL, and I've seen the Southern versus UL matchups and the Southern versus La Tech and ULM and Tulane, and I go to those programs and I'm looking at them. But for you, when you look at UL to take football serious and to actually be looked at, what did it take? Because 20 years ago, UL was not taken serious in football.
Oh, listen, I was there 24 years ago, and I know for a fact we didn't take football serious compared to what I saw these dudes have now. When I went back this past August and seen all the facility upgrades, training table, all the stuff that didn't exist when I was there, right? All it took was for the administration to say, hey, we need to understand that football, and you hear coaches say this all the time, that football is the front door of your university. And if more schools understand that, and especially in particular HBCUs, it's legitimately game over, So,
and I guess I'm asking money-wise, because I mean we can throw that out there. James Madison got money, right? A lot of these schools, because of who they are with the white status that comes with it, right? It opens a door. And I'm not making no excuses for nobody, because I feel we can do a lot more in order to position ourselves to be better than what we are. But we got to look at the reality of the world too. UL, what money? What are the doors that they're knocking on? What are the meetings? Who are those people, those corporations, those businesses, those families that's ultimately leaving their whole inheritance, right? That's saying, I'm willing to donate or I'm willing to invest to get this program. Because I just watched the video. They tearing down the entire home side of the stadium, right? To redo the entire thing. So we're talking money on top of money on top of money that's going into an investment for a program to take it to the next level. And what does the next level besides Sunbelt look like?
Here's the thing. You mean to tell me Howard in DC with those political connections can't get things shaken? Or you start to ask the question, where is the money going?
Where is the money? Where is the?
You know what I'm saying? Because I just said this a couple of minutes ago. Tuskegee, if you look at Tuskegee's endowment, it's more than a lot of Sunbelt schools. So where is the money going? And that's why I said people got to come to the table and think, man, I only got $5. Like, no, man. Like, we got money. We show that constantly. We like the top spending dollar or whatnot in terms of a people. And these schools are bringing in legit money. It's about where are your allocation of your resources. And so that's why I said you got to look at the schools, about a good 10 to 12 that could easily jump in right away. Every time I go call a game at Morgan State, a new building is popping up. You know what I'm saying? Morgan is expanding. We just saw Delaware State buy up, Wesley College a few years ago, expanding their reach. So it can be done. It's just about making sure these school presidents and administrators are all on the same page to invest in that program to where now you're more visible to where people want to come to your school, which we know tuition is dollars and so on and so forth, and make football your marketing. And then, it's all about how you view the athletics. It can be your marketing. And then, notice this, after every NCAA tournament, when some team makes a magical run, almost immediately the focus turns to, man, they should start football. Virginia Commonwealth talked about it right after they went to the Final Four, I believe. Wichita State for a while thought about bringing their program back. UT Arlington just passed a vote by the students to bring football back. We'll see if it passes again later on this semester. So every time, so it shows you that people are believing that football is the way to go to help bring more money and enrollment to your program. I just think that we got the people, we got the talent, we got the facilities, we got the history, we got everything that we go make money off of. It just takes the people at the top to understand that and come to leave the ego at the door.
Let me ask you this for the people that's listening. How much money are you talking? Let's put it in the ballpark so people can start to understand what are we talking about? What did it take? We talking about facility upgrades. You're talking about down, because a lot of it we talk about, we want coaches, right? But then you can barely pay a coach $200,000, $300,000 a year. And I can go to UL and be the running back coach and make that, right? I can go to UL and be the quarterback coach and make that and not have to. So what kind of money are we talking about investing when we look at the overall thing of talking about HBCUs moving up FBS and then making these programs more visible to the talent that's around in the nation?
Well, one is about moving up. You got the $5 million thing that's right there, right? So that's
so off top. We're talking $5 million.
Off top to move $5 million. That, which I know to us seems like a lot, but to them is peanuts. I know they could find $5 million, and you got TV deals in place already. You already have stuff with HBCU Go, HBCU Plus, and you have deals that's coming up with other networks that you can vie for, because everyone wants. Networks will come beating down your door if you're playing, big ball, FBS ball, because now that ties into bowl games. It's easier for them to sell. So I can't give you a number, you know what I'm saying? But I know making it, I say the biggest number is $5 million. So, and you can get, I keep bringing Tyler Perry, keep bringing Oprah. If I'm Tennessee State, I'm on the phone with Oprah. How bad you want to win? Like, let's make this happen, right? Because it can happen. And I think if a collective of 10 schools, $50 million, that doesn't sound like a lot. Even though the real question would be, where's that $5 million going to for the NCAA? Because it went from 5,000 to 5 million. What am I getting for that? So I just think that the $5 million is the one upfront cost, and everything else you can build on that, come from whatever you get from TV contracts, enrollment, all of those things. You'll see a difference once it's no different than moving from New Orleans to New York City. Salary increase, almost immediately, just from changing zip code, changing states. Same thing for these HBCUs to go to FBS. You'll see the money would just start coming in from all kind of places.
That cost of living in New York gonna give me a little studio with a community bathroom compared to New Orleans. I can have a crib.
But you won't have access to all the major networks out here as you would in New Orleans. So if you go to the FBS, now I got access to the, the Blue Bonnet Bowl, to the, Times-Picayune Bowl, as opposed to just the
Celebration Bowl.
Boom. So
do you think those bowls hold more weight? Because the Celebration Bowl has been flexing its muscles, saying we get more viewership and attendance than those bowls. So if you take me out of my realm, and let's just say then let's take a Florida A&M, then goes to the Dollar General Bowl, right? And they take on Arkansas State. Will it still hold the same weight?
Yeah, because you're getting paid. Because here's the thing. The Celebration Bowl only features 2 teams.
That's what I'm saying. And you can, and now let's say you have 4 teams that have winning records. They all get to go into bowl games and make money. That's what he's saying. Like
I get it totally. Trust me.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just having a conversation because it's easy for us to talk about it because we understand. But the breakdown is for the people out there so they can get a better understanding. That's why I'm talking about the dollar amount. That's why I'm talking about the understanding of what does this mean truly if the idea is to move up, because the average person that's listening to this may not truly understand what it is that we're talking about, and they're going to take it for face value. But I'm saying it for me and for them to understand. It's a lot deeper than the face value, because think about it. Yeah, you talking about that $5 million to move up, but hell, we got to first invest the money just to get compliance in order, right? It's the little things that I think that we got to work on to first get to there, because we don't even have the little things worked out yet that often go unseen or untalked about.
You can do more than one thing at once, though.
Huh?
You can do more than things. You can do multiple things at once, though.
I would love to think so, but it goes back to what you talked about, the leadership, the people that steering the ship. You have to have the right people, even as a commissioner of the conference, even as the president and chancellor of the institution, even as your ADs. We see the deals that we're doing now, whether it's the television rights deals that you're talking about, or what we see with the Southern Heritage, just the classic game deals that we're talking about. Right now, it's the small things that we haven't quite figured out how to get on board, how to monopolize, and how to truly, because when you look at FCS and you look at the SWAC has led FCS in attendance for 40 years. But yet I don't think they have quite understood the true value and nature that goes behind that. And if you find out the true value and nature, then you can start taking in money and fixing those small things to build up. But we often overlook that, and we just look at the big picture. And when we look at the big picture, we miss the small things. And for me, the small things are what continuously hold us back. We see the big picture for the Celebration Bowl, right? The commissioner, and I've had talks with other people, saying that in 10 years, this conference has an opportunity to do what you're speaking of, move to FBS. But the infrastructure is not in place for us to successfully sustain that.
I disagree, and I agree to a certain extent, but I disagree to a certain extent, because if you're insulating yourself by playing yourself, right? That's how you insulate yourself. You're not out here going into a conference where everybody is way ahead of you and you're just at the bottom of the totem pole. If my neighborhood moves up with me, then I'm still in my own neighborhood, right? I'm still dealing with I'm still having those same games, that we are still on the same competitive level, right? So it's not that I'm moving to the Sun Belt and now I got a school that got 3 times my budget. I'm like, I gotta see you every week. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's beyond football for me. And I guess when I look at the athletics, and I'm not afraid to move up. I'm a very big fan of moving up, because I would love to get UL to come to Baton Rouge and play Southern at Munford Stadium. I think that would be one hell of a game.
I will take 2 games out of conference before I take 8 games of ass whoopings. Like I'll take 2 out of conference games where it's going to take me a couple years to get right, to get my foot setting, instead of us moving until like North Carolina A&T moving up to CAA, and now you're getting your butt whooped 9 times out the year. Like that's really what it comes down to. So if you move as a group, it's like, hey, man, we going to do this as family. You know what I'm saying? We going to come together as family. We're going to do this thing. And the one thing I really like what Hunting's talking about is the value of the eyeballs that we already have. So now it just gets amplified, because now you're on an FBS level. So nobody can say that's peewee football. Nobody can say that that's low-level football, because we on the same thing as the MAC.
I just don't want to get to the FBS level and get my ass whooped the same way.
How you gonna keep getting your butt whooped if you with the same people? You bringing it's like LeBron. I'm bringing my guys with me. We coming together. So the only time you got to worry about is your 2 ass whoopings out of conference. That's really what you only got to worry about.
And if you schedule strategically, ULM sitting right there, you can get your win. Shout out to ULM though, but I don't. But you can get ULM on the schedule.
Ain't no SWAC school ever beat ULM.
Well, Jackson State nearly did before they started cheating. What Shador was that. Okay. They call that bogus. They call that bogus. Penalty. But yeah, it won't take much, man. Because just like the Ivy League, think about all the stuff HBCUs can go out and get TV deals for, or brand deals for, the band, the dancers, everything. The cult it's crazy but ego is what's killing it. So that's just my Pollyanna thinking. I do feel like it can be done historically. The brands are there, the history is there, and it would be like, you're not asking Valley to move up with you, but you are providing a spot whenever Valley gets their money right to say, hey, okay, we can move up now from FCS to this HBCU conference because we have a landing spot of people like ourselves. And your 2 out of conference games could also be funneling money down to your FCS counterparts down there. You know what I'm saying? Let's say
for their money games.
For their money, so
their
their money games could be playing you.
And I agree with you. Look, I know. I'm with you to move up. For me, what makes me nervous is just the infrastructure that I just feel that's in place. We would have to do a complete overhaul from commissioner to presidents to AD.
That should have been happening. Commissioner especially, but I
ain't gonna get you started but I'm just saying, like, to have that vision, we 3 guys on here having conversation, right? But yet we can see a future that seems vibrant and can be very fruitful for everybody. But you have to have those people that are the doctors, that have the titles, the AD, the chancellor, I'm the vice president, whatever the case may be. Those people have to be forward thinking. And I don't even think they even beginning to scratch the surface to even think that far. They have the conversations just like everybody in the chat can understand that alumni building fund at a HBCU, right? You've been seeing that alumni building supposed to have been built since your mama, if she was in school, and they still got that building talking about it's going to get built now. And what you tell yourself, they'll probably build it by the time my kids get to college, right? It's just this long, ongoing process of slow moving. And for me, it's just, we got to be able to get people in the right position and get the right people in those positions to be forward thinkers and don't have a problem sitting at the table and do something different. We normally say the way we've always done is going to be the way we always going to do it. Until we get those people out the way and get the right people that's in position like yourself, Scotty, myself, who have the vision, who can see the ideas, because let's be for real, it's just not football. It's athletics as a whole. You start talking about moving up because my football team, right, can play those 2 out of conference games and we're going to play the rest in conference. But what's going to happen when we get the basketball, men and women? What's going to happen when we get the baseball and softball? And
the same thing they do now.
I get that. But you're going to want to compete. You're not going to steal because, look, we're talking about.
Those sports already compete. Jack State just beat a Power 5 in softball.
I'm not negating that. I'm saying us as a whole. I'm not saying individuals. I'm just speaking of us as a whole to make sure we all get on that same page, right? That's all I'm speaking of.
Listen. I think the other sports aren't adding sports. If there's a requirement of how many sports you're supposed to have in FBS, I think that's going to add some strain to scholarships and things like that. But competing on the non-revenue sports is not an issue. It really is not. It's just football. It's really just the football of it.
Well, I say that because those other sports, just like now, give you an opportunity to legit compete for national championships. So even if you do move up, let's just say you FBS, but you group of 5, in the grand scheme, you're never going to be able to get to the national championship the way the landscape has changed. But those other sports legit give you an opportunity. So moving up and getting more money into those programs give you one step closer, because you just said it, Jackson State beating somebody in softball. I'm looking at the opportunity to compete for championships. I'm moving beyond the thought process of just winning a conference, because that's where we're at now. Now I'm looking at where do we legit and where can we really be as programs, and we have opportunities.
Oh, you act like the MAC is winning national championships every year. That's not like it. You can be dominant at your level, right? Or if Jackson State was on an FBS level, they would get a better bid. We would get more schools into the tournament, and that's more money for our institutions just by being in FBS. The net rating's going to be better. Everything happens, and now I don't need to be a national champion. I just need to get in the party. I just need to be at the. Can I get some of the juice? You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. I don't want to be at the line hoping I get in the party. They like, oh yeah, you, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now we all in the party and we all kicking in, cooling. We might not be on the main stage, but we in the party. We kicking it. We cooling. I'm sorry.
I will say this, and I got to bounce. Just to answer DeAndre Aiken's question. If Shedeur Sanders was in this draft class, he'd be my QB2. So that tells me he is my QB1 next year, without a doubt. Don't let them people try to tell you about some Carson Beck or about some, Quinn Ewers or about some anybody going to try to throw in front of Shedeur Sanders. This dude is the Black Joe Burrow. He would have been outstanding in this draft class. I was shocked he didn't come out, but I get it. I understand it. But next year, that boy gonna be the truth.
If he did 4 years at Jackson State, is he a number 1 pick?
Yes, because even at Jackson State, you look at how he was throwing. I said this when he was at when he first got in. I was like, because I had never seen his high school stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, it's the decisions he's making with the ball, like knowing where to go, knowing when to take the shot, when to be conservative, when to be aggressive. Like outside of the arm talent and all that stuff like that, I was like, man, he's playing like a senior. And that, if so, just from that freshman year, I was like, wow, this dude got something. And so if he would have stayed at Jackson State and played like that, because it's funny because now people on the FBS side just as if they didn't see not one game of Jackson State and then 40 touchdowns and that 4 interceptions didn't count. All of a sudden he has one game against TCU, like, oh wow, Shedeur, like he been doing that. So yes, if he was at Jackson State, he would have been the next Steve McNair in terms of going that high in the draft. So Shedeur Sanders is my number 1 quarterback for the 2025 class.
Man, Emory, appreciate you for your time. You about to have us. We about to have a whole nother discussion about.
Don't get me started. I'm ready to keep it going.
Hey, thank you so much for your time. Keep doing your thing, man.
Appreciate. Just say, make sure y'all pre-order the draft guide at footballgameplan.com/2024 draft guide. It's the largest draft guide in existence. Every scouting report is its own page, so you get a full page scouting report on Mikey Victor as you would on the top player in the draft, right? So everyone is treated equally. Over 1,000 pages. Footballgameplan.com/2024 draft guide. Pre-order it now. It should be out late March, first week of April at the latest. It's the best draft guide out there. I appreciate
absolutely.
Y'all. Thank you so much, man.
Make sure you follow him on Twitter. I'm telling you, man is a freaking genius. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Get the game plan. Get the draft guide. Also, man, thank you so much, Emory. Appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate y'all, Perry, Scotty. Thank y'all so much, man. It was a fun time.
Don't forget us, brother. Don't forget us. Don't forget us. We down here at this HBCU level. Don't forget us down here on this HBCU level.
Oh man, that was a good. Hey, that was good. That was good, man. I really appreciate Emory. And hey, listen, and I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know he was gonna take it there. I didn't know he was gonna take it. I thought it was gonna be NFL draft guy. But I like that aspect of. I never really when he brought up every minutia of what HBCU is and moving it up together, it made a lot more sense than people just picking and choosing how they want to get up. But I'm gonna keep saying this, and I'm gonna say it to the rules fall off, to the wheels fall off. If the head man, no homo, is not
say the top guy.
If the top guy doesn't have the vision nor have the resources to understand how to make it happen, it won't go nowhere. I'm going to just say that right now. If your commissioner doesn't have the foresight or the acumen or the understanding of how to maneuver it up, it ain't going to go nowhere. It ain't going to go. The deal is as good as dead. So
you got to be able to have the uncomfortable conversations like what we do here. And whether we agree or disagree, the fact is we can all have an understanding of point of views. And I think when you have that type of world, you tend to get people that are ass kissers that are around you, people that want to fall in line, people that will not challenge anything. Whatever you say, yes, sir. Whatever you think, yes, sir. No pushback.
Yeah.
And you get that a lot of times, especially when you hear celebrities and you hear people of status. They say with the money, with the fame, with the titles, comes a lot of ass kissing ass people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, you can't move forward when everybody just want to be on board with everything that you're doing because they don't want to be cut off just in case they piss you off. I think we deal with that too much here on our level because a lot of people don't want. They just happy to be here. Let me try to stay as long as I can. Let me get in where I fit in, and I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I ain't gonna say anything more than what I need to say or what I need to do. And I think ultimately that's where we get this content state. And just happy that I'm just very happy to be here. You know, that's what we get.
Hey guys, I'm dropping the football game playing link in the chat. So if you're interested, you can go in on his website, get you a football draft guide. Go ahead and purchase it. I do not know how much it costs. Just go ahead and purchase it. If you get the price, please let us know in the chat. All right. But no, I agree with you, P. I absolutely agree with you, and I like what you're talking about in just the building of the infrastructure to get ourselves together to make that move. But I think, like I said, I think moving together saves you the headache of looking at everybody else like, damn, they just up there doing it. You know, we just down here.
I think a documentary or something has to be done in circle. Let's take Florida A&M, right?
Yeah.
Florida A&M tried to do this in the early 2000s and move up somewhere, and I don't know the depths of it, and Mr. Campbell or anybody, somewhere it went wrong, and it set them back. And it set them back for a long time before they can kind of get their foot. But they seem to be the closest to possibly have made that jump and to be able to get in that position to where, all right, let's see what FBS level looks like. And at that time, it was not FBS. It was just Division 1A and Division 1AA. But they had tried to slowly but surely get themselves out of that Division 1AA and touch into that Division 1 world, Division 1A world. And it just didn't quite work. I think that has to be a case study, and everybody in the SWAC, if you an AD or the athletic department or as a conference, have to go back and look what happened during that time 20-something years ago in which that was not a successful jump for them. And what can we learn from that? We often just forget and move on and never talk about it. But I think that's a prime example of the circle. That was the closest we've had of an HBCU that potentially could have made that jump, but somewhere down the line it went wrong.
That's a great point to have a case study. You got to know what they say. If you don't know your past, you're doomed to repeat it. Let me just say this: if you're not following HBCU Pass on Twitter, Perry, don't worry, Perry don't follow nobody on Twitter because he ain't on Twitter, right? He on them old Facebook groups, with the old people. But listen, if you're not following HBCU Pass on Twitter, you're out your cotton picking mind. He probably has one of the best graphics. Like, I don't even know how this dude does it. The AI graphics that he has with the teams and the bears and the dog and the bee. They're amazing. And they're all black and they're all cool and stuff like that. Make sure y'all follow this man make sure y'all follow him on Twitter. The graphics are amazing. It's a whole thing out there. So make sure y'all follow him.
And I follow HBCU Pass on Instagram. I make sure I tag him and everything. And Twitter just ain't the same for me, man. I kind of laid off of Twitter for a few, X. Okay, X. We got to make sure we remember it ain't Twitter no more. It's X.
I call it Twitter. I feel like
might as well be triple X from all the stuff that I see on there. View this, and then I'm looking at what you talking about, the tops and the bottoms and the head, and I'm like, damn, well, with Twitter is coming, but I don't know. I've been off of it for a while, but I'm trying to slowly but surely. Help me out, brother. Shout me out or something. See, I don't
even know your Twitter. You don't even know your Twitter handle, bro.
Where's Perry?
Not on Twitter.
Yeah.
Not on Twitter. That's where
I've had a Twitter account since at least 2011. At one time, Twitter was hot for me for about 3-4 years there.
Where is Perry? Okay.
Yeah, you see me. Follow me back. Do you even follow me?
Because I didn't know where you was at.
Follow me, bro. I'm on there. Follow me. Only Yard Sports on there. Where is Perry? Follow me, bro. I love to follow. I follow you. See that?
I appreciate it. I didn't even.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little HBCU. EA college football. Listen, with HBCU bands, my man Perry had what do you call like a what would you call like a demo like what's the word for it? I say demo.
So I would say back in the day, I think 05, NCAA went around for college football to different HBCUs, and you can find them all over YouTube. They went to Southern, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, I believe Florida A&M. There was a host of schools that they went to, and they all did their own version of the intro to coming into college football, the game, EA Sports. And then, they showcased how Grambling was another. And then they say EA Sports is in the game. I just thought, let's revolutionize it. Let's not do it so much. I mean, 05 was 20 years ago, okay? Yeah, don't seem like that 05 was that long ago, does it? But in my mind, I'm like 2025 with the media and the way that we have things now. And I just threw some things out there. What would it look like if we was to include the HBCU bands just to get us hyped before the game came.
I like it. Here we go. Here's one of Perry's demos for EA College Football 2025.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Come on, man. Tell me.
Hey, that's fine. When I saw it, I was like, that's hard. I was like, that's hard.
Tell me you ain't yet when the game come on and you about to get ready to play Scotty online, and that's the first intro that come. Run it back, Scotty. They ain't run it back.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game. Come on, man.
Jackson. I don't know if you had got the one for Jackson.
I got you. Here you go.
Jackson, I showed y'all love since y'all, beat down the door about being the best band.
Let me hear you. I got it right here. Here we go. Here's the Jackson State version.
NCAA football. EA Sports. It's in the
I ain't gonna lie. That one, it's good. It don't hit like the way
Because that Southern, you can feel the vibe being in Tiger State.
That was different.
It felt electric, didn't it?
It hit. Don't get me wrong. The Jackson State one, it was good, but it didn't hit like that Southern one. That Southern one hit.
And there was some other songs that I would have used for Jackson. It was just hard to find the clips that set that same scene. Like Southern, you saw Tiger Stadium, you saw the pom-poms, you saw people walking by like, hell yeah, you see the bet. It was just the excitement. I was looking for Jackson State. I couldn't find no game or the right clip that gave me that same energy. It was just hard to find for me.
I say with this clip, because I'm not a big fan of the J-sets. I'm really not. But that clip, I was like, okay, they doing a little something. They doing a little something.
What they doing, Scotty?
They doing a little something.
And see, a lot of them, the thing about it is, like, I'm looking, the song that I really wanted to use for Jackson State was We Came to Play. I didn't want to do Get Ready just ain't hype enough. It don't. Yeah. Like when I'm cutting on the game, I wanted to do We Came to Play, or I wanted to use They Neck. I couldn't find a camera angle though. Like I saw home games and I saw other games, but that same camera angle that was very like personal for Southern. So that felt personal, right? Up on it, you felt like you was right there in it. I couldn't quite get that same angle. And I looked, trust me, I even looked on Jackson State band media and I looked all over, but I just couldn't quite find that same one that gave me that energy with that type of camera view. And trust me, I searched all over the internet.
Listen, bro, that Southern one. I would, this is the only thing about, I think you're rubbing off on me, no homo, right? The thing is, it's like Neck is it's like a cultural thing. And you like, if you put that on EA Sports and everybody going to be trying to do it. And it's just like, but I love it though. I do love it. The only negative is just like you put it in front of white people, they're going to culture appropriate it. And then they're going to try to do it. And
they already doing it. They already playing Neck. Go to these white games. They playing Neck already. So, but I just felt because it was Tiger Stadium, it gave you the best of both worlds already if you're playing NCAA football anyway. And it just showed you our culture taking over a stadium and literally captivating. Run it back. Just one more time. Run it back.
Now, my question real quick. If I could be a band director, all I got to do is this. I can do that. I can do this.
You got to get them ready to even sound good like that first to get them in front of everybody.
If that's all I got to do, I can do this. Hey, come on.
And look. The other thing is we're talking marketing, Scotty.
Yeah.
I'm sitting back and I saw an intro and I'm like, damn, this is how you market your brands. This is how you put your info out there. This is how you get into new territories. Anybody saying, how can I be a part of NCAA and get and show my brand and market who we are?
It is. Here we go. Run it back.
NCAA football. EA Sports.
Oh, you edited it so perfectly.
Tell me that ain't hard.
No, you edited it so perfect because I like how it when it's fading out. Hey, you edited it perfectly, bro. I
did that at 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep, bro. And I ended up watching this dude. I came across it I'm on Facebook with the old folks.
I told you.
Chill. So it was like it showed an NCAA intro, but it was like a minute and something long, and it had a bunch of stuff from. And it's another one I'm gonna work on that I'm gonna show you. But it's gonna actually show football games. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at it, and somewhere in the line, I saw a corner piece of Southern Band in it, and I was like, you know what, I can do this. But I had, you don't know how hard it was to make that. That wasn't easy. That sound that you hear, because you see you see college football 25, that sound don't even go to that. I had to extract that sound from a whole nother video. I had to make that video. That video with the 25, that ain't even like that. I had to glitch it. Then I had to take a piece from the end, then take the piece. It was a lot that went into it, bro. I know it may have looked easy and it looked like all I did was that was not. I really had to piece and pull things together in order to make that a success. But
it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. I gotta give you that. So
don't play with me in this edit game now. Don't get me. If I get motivated, I start making stuff and I go crazy.
Nah, that was dope. That was fire. I gotta give you that. All right, let's talk about some MEAC. And the MEAC turning up the heat in the kitchen. They said, listen, we got to get our editing game together. We got to get this promotion for the MEAC tournament. And this is what they drop on Twitter.
Half a cup. Yes, big brother, big deal, real deal.
What's that on your forehead?
That's a MEAC symbol, big brother.
Why?
Because I'm a MEAC man.
When is the tournament?
March 13th through 16th in Norfolk, Virginia.
Who's gonna be there?
All the MEAC teams.
Name the teams.
The MEAC team?
Name the team.
Howard, University. South Carolina State, North Carolina Central University. South Carolina State University. University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. Delaware State University. Coppin State University. Morgan State University. And the host, Norfolk State University. Big brother.
Nice.
Thank you.
You going?
Oh, you know I'm going, big brother.
How you getting here?
I'm driving, big brother.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5.5", big brother.
You need a booster seat?
I'm a good driver, big brother. You'll see. You'll see.
Get out of my space.
Yes, big brother.
Hey, listen. I love it. Purchase your tickets today. Link in the bio. Absolutely love the heat. Now, the only issue is they say South Carolina State twice in this video.
That's why you got to edit. You got to pay attention to the details when you edit.
He says South Carolina State twice in the video. But other than that, it's absolutely amazing. This is what I'm talking about when I tell you all, you got to be creative in what you're doing, right? This is an HBCU conference. It's an HBCU tournament. I'm gonna take a page out of a classic HBCU movie, right? And I'm gonna throw it in here so people can get the reference. Like this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying content. Now, if you're being honest, I would keep it going until the day of the tournament. I would have another skit with another person, you know what I'm saying, with the MEAC on his head, and now he's talking about some of the players or some of the coaches. What coach gonna be there?
So on school days, if you can remember, when they was pledging, they had to hold the torch. And they was like, if you really want to be a Gamma, you don't drop the torch. So they was fighting as they was walking through there. So you get every school and you put it on their head and you have them hold the torch. Who wants the championship? How bad do you want the championship? And you see them fighting. Oh, I want the championship. I want the championship. You like that?
That's good, P.
Man, look, I'm telling y'all, producer extraordinaire over here, man. Don't
That's
take long.
good. That's good, P. I like that. I like that a lot. You know what I'm saying?
And you got the MEAC dude saying you don't want the championship, and they all struggling, trying to hold it, making sure they don't drop it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, P. That's good. But you gotta keep it going.
Yeah,
and this is the stuff I'm talking about when I'm saying the content has to be good. And I know that didn't take long. That didn't take long. That probably took it maybe an hour, 2 hours. That's it. Maybe, right? And it's something simple like that is good, great content that you're now. If the other HBCU conference with with the 4 letters,
say it.
It's whack. I mean,
I never know you don't shy away from that.
If whack will just get off their ass and do something for their tournament, you know what I'm saying? Just something. Just something. Yeah. And then they wonder why nobody show up. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So I just want to give a round of applause. Just want to give a round of applause to the MEAC for turning up the content. Turn up.
Hey, to the SWAC, man, Perry White always. I know. Look, put me back up there. Get that off there, right? Get that off there. Get that off there. I know. Look, I'm guilty by association. I get it, and I'm here to say it in front of everyone because I don't care. I'm Perry. You ain't gonna stop what God got for me, right? But I'm guilty by association. And a lot of people who have their issues with Scotty tend to say, well, we're both one and the same. It is what it is. I'm doing the show with him regardless. So, hey, it is what it is. We doing our thing. But I still am an individual. Call and talk to me and just see where I'm at sometimes. His views, not my views, and my views, not his views, right? We both grown. We both got our own mind and how we think and how we go about doing things. But because I'm guilty by it, so Scotty, y'all, you with Scotty, you with Scotty. So damn what? Yes, I am with Scotty. And what does that matter? What is that gonna change?
As friends.
Yeah.
As friends. We're friends.
Yeah. And y'all still watching? You gonna tell me how much you dislike him and how much you don't like what he got going on and all this, and yet you're still sneaking and geeking, you're still watching, you're still listening. So come on, man. Get off that. I told you, Scotty, you need that disclaimer.
Yeah.
So start up so they'll understand, look, it is what it is. You can be criticized, and this is entertainment. All of it work together. In this day and age, why you think it's hard to get people to even watch half the shit we talking about? It ain't entertaining enough. You're just talking about it. You got to make it some form of entertainment, and sometimes you're going to be the buddy end of the joke. Sometimes you're just going to be a part of the entertainment because you know why? You're a public figure, and that's what it is. I haven't watched a show yet that talked to me about the best housing sellers and the best insurance people. You know why? Because all I give a damn about this is they ain't judged on wins and losses. They ain't judged on their deals. But people care about athletics. People care about who the ADs and who the coaches and who the commissioners. And it's okay to be criticized. If you get talked about, get out your feelings. It's okay. Please. But goddamn it, get me out this guilty by association. I'm blacklisted and I don't care. Look, I don't care. But come on, man. You see us just did a great interview with Emory Hunt, right? All that other stuff that y'all think we are and what we about, it ain't that 24/7. But we got to have some form of entertainment. Respond back then. Damn it, damn. Come up with a skit. Do a skit on Scotty then. Get him. Come on, Charles McClellan. I know you're creative and you're funny. I know he can create a funny skit about you. You think he got that in him?
No.
Oh, well, never mind.
No. We should do some skits on him though.
No, I'm good. I'm good on though. Because I don't have, my thing is if I do a skit, it'll probably be like, them doing a deal. But I don't care about none of these folks. I just care about.
I'm gonna write that down.
Huh?
I said that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down.
Damn. Like you two people, you ESPN and then you the commissioner.
Yeah.
Y'all discussing the deal. Right?
I'm still in that. Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
I just be wanting folks to know, man. Look, at the end of the day, we trying to move this thing forward. We trying to do this thing together, regardless of how you feel. Let's just make it work, right? Let's just make it work because there's plenty of opportunities out there. The SWAC basketball tournament is coming to the city of Birmingham. Does the city of Birmingham know that we coming to them? Do the people in the surrounding areas understand? Because I haven't seen anything, maybe a flyer, but what are we doing to promote it? What are we doing to uplift and showcase this? Because how we gonna make money and we ain't trying to even spend no money?
Hey, Perry, I think you're asking the commissioner.
Can we talk for a minute?
Call me, bruh. Call me. Send anybody to call me. We can talk. I'm very, hey, listen, I ain't as ignorant as you think. Scotty ain't either. We real life some young whippersnappers, all right? We real life some brothers that have some ideas that I think when you put it together, it will blow the internet up the same way everybody wanted to see. I don't even know. Let's just say, oh, what was it? Michael Jordan and Isaiah.
Oh yeah.
Internet up.
Yeah.
If Scotty and Dr. McClellan sat down and just had a civil conversation, are we not grown enough or men enough to just say, shit, at the end of the day, I can have a conversation with you. I will give you a shot. I know you may. Let's just move beyond this and let bygones be bygones and understand at the end of the day, let's all make some money together.
Oh man.
Let's just make some money together and share some ideas, man. Because they watch and they listen to the stuff we talk about, the stuff you talk about. Everybody listen. It more than what I think. I'm telling you, bro. I'd be surprised when somebody be like, "Oh yeah, I watched the show," and I'm like, "Damn, I didn't even think you even knew what was going on."
Yeah.
So, and I know they watch it from the head office all the way to the other school, the institutions, from ADs to presidents, alums, and everybody else. So, you know, man, y'all get y'all. Come on, bro. Stop being so personal about everything because somebody critical of you. Just do better.
Just do better. Just do better. It sounds very simple to me. Just do better. Let's get into a little swacky basketball.
Oh, now they want to see the professional side. They want to know Perry White. Why I should be at the SWAC basketball tournament next week doing something.
Hey, let's get into the women's side. What you got on the P?
I will say, let's just skip the SWAC altogether and just move on to something else. And since they don't got no love, why we showing them love and they ain't got no love for
you? Ain't got no love. West Coast ain't got no love for Snoop. The West Coast ain't got no love for Death Row.
I'm just messing with you. I grew up in the SWAC and I love the SWAC. It's my home. And that's all I've ever known.
Yeah, how Snoop get on that, Jake? West Coast ain't got no love for Snoop. West Coast ain't got no love for Death Row. If you don't want the producer all in the videos, please. Okay, I'm done. All right, I'm done. Go ahead.
Are we ready for the SWAC?
Yeah.
Is the SWAC ready for us?
Oh, good one.
All right. Let's start from the SWAC women's side because, look, this is something we love to talk about as we promote our institutions of higher learning. And we're going to start with basketball at the bottom with Alabama A&M. Look, the way Alabama A&M women's Bulldog team has been playing, I think it is a travesty. Nobody's talking about it. They beat Alabama State 58-47. A&M shoot 17 of 56 in this game for 30%, 3 of 18 from the three-point line, and 21 of 31 from the free throw line. Alabama A&M women currently riding a 5-game winning streak, Scotty. Very impressive with them. I think people need to pay attention. Let's move up to the next team. Southern University gets the victory Saturday in overtime in a hard-fought game against Bethune-Cookman, 65-59. Southern University women basketball shoot 20 of 62 for 32%, 3 of 15 from the three-point line, and 22 of 35 from the free throw line. They carry on that success to Monday night, taking on Florida A&M. Mr. Campbell? Okay. 67-61, Southern University women get the victory. 22 67 or 61. They shoot 22 of 58 in this ball game for 37%, 3 of 10 for the three-point line, and 20 of 29 from the free throw line. Southern gets both games against the Florida schools as they move on. You look at the team right above them, the Golden Lions of UAPB played one game over the weekend, and that was against their rival, Mississippi Valley. Golden Lions getting a victory 78-57. UAPB women's basketball shooting 26 of 54 for 48%, 5 of 18 from the three-point line, Scotty, and 21-32. This team finishes with the best record they've ever had in women's basketball history.
Come on.
20-plus years of being Division I. They finished with the best record ever. So congratulations to Coach Don Thornton and UAPB women's basketball for what they've accomplished this year. That says a lot for them. Let's move up to that next spot. The Grambling State women's basketball team beating FAMU 65-54 on Saturday. Grambling women shooting 17 of 56 for 30%, 5 of 20 from the three-point line, and 26 of 32 from the free throw line. They then on Monday night take on Bethune-Cookman, getting a big victory, 64-54, 10-point victory. Grambling shooting 23 of 62 for 37%, 2 of 15 from the three-point line, and 16 of 22, Scotty, from the free throw line. Grambling women now currently riding a 8-game winning streak as they move forward. And then, of course, at the top is Jackson State and everybody else. Coach Tamika Reed, Jackson State getting a big victory Saturday, 101-51 over Texas Southern women's basketball. Jackson State in that game shooting 38 of 73 for 52%, 8 of 21 from the three-point line, and 17 of 22 from the free throw line. And then taking on Prairie View and Sandy Pugh Monday night. Jackson State carried on with a 10-point victory, 75-65. Jackson State women shooting 20 of 46 for 43%, 6 of 12 from the three-point line, and 29 of 31. Jackson State wraps up the regular season this week. But guess what? They closed out their 5th consecutive regular season championship under Coach Tamika Reed. And guess what? 16-game winning streak as they get ready to head into the weekend. So congratulations to Jackson State women for their 5th consecutive regular season championship. Once again, like every year, for the past 5 years, it's Jackson State and everyone else.
Jackson State and everybody else, man, it's tough. Lloyd Tanner said Jackson State is projected to be the 15th seed against Texas. That really pisses me off how they do these girls, being as dominant as they are with some Power 5 wins. But you know, it is what it is. All right, let's get to the men's side.
You got his hand off there for me this week. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I can actually see. But that guy can do whatever he wants because once again, Grambling is at the top. And on the SWAC men's side, let's start at the bottom with the Tigers of Texas Southern taking on Jackson State on Saturday. They get the victory 80-70, Scotty. Texas Southern in that game shooting 31 of 64 for 48%, 11 of 28 from the three-point line, and they were 7 of 10 from the free throw line. They then take on Alcorn State on Monday night. They fall short, 82-79, as Alcorn State got the victory. Alcorn in that game shooting 28 of 63 for 44%, 2 of 13 from the three-point line, and 24 of 28 from the free throw line. For the Tigers of Texas Southern, they shoot 30 of 62 for 48%, 12 of 32 from the three-point line, and 7 of 12 from the free throw line. And right above them, of course, I talked about Texas Southern. You heard against Alcorn. Alcorn got the victory, but on Saturday, Alcorn took on Prairie View. They got the victory 73-65. Alcorn in that ball game shooting 26 of 53 for 49%, shooting 7 of 20 from the three-point line, and 14 of 23 from the free throw line. Scotty, Alcorn, the big bad Braves, as G would put it, currently riding a 7-game win streak right now. They're the hottest team, or one of the hottest teams in the conference. You don't want to see Alcorn right now, if you're anybody, if you're asking me. Let's look at the team right there. Southern, game played on HBCU Go TV this weekend. They took on Bethune-Cookman, and Reggie Thee is coming out of Daytona Beach, Florida. And look, I told you early on, Bethune-Cookman is a team I feel at any given time can beat anybody in this conference. And they showed it Saturday, which is hard for any team to come into the F.G. Clark Activity Center and walk away with a victory. And Bethune-Cookman Wildcats did that 67-61. The Wildcats shoot 16 of 41 for 39%, 5 of 15 from the three-point line, and 30 of 36 from the free throw line. On the other side for the Jaguars, 22 of 49, shooting 44%, Scotty, 3 of 15 from the three-point line, and 14 of 25 from the free throw line. Southern gets back on track and snapped their 3-game losing skid and get the victory over Florida A&M. Mr. Campbell, where you at? 48-44. The Jaguars shoot 23 of 56 for 41%, 7 of 16 from the three-point line, and 5 of 11 from the free throw line. Southern finishes the season with their at home 11-2 overall on the season. They closed out the regular season this weekend in Alabama against Alabama A&M and Alabama State. And then the team at the number one for the men's, Grambling State Tigers, they get the victory Saturday, 75-68 over Florida A&M in that game. Grambling shoot 30 of 55 for 54%, 4 of 15 from the three-point line, and 11 of 17 from the free throw line. And they closed it out last night against Bethune-Cookman Monday night, 69-60. The Tigers shooting 22 of 53 for 41%, 6 of 12 from the three-point line, and 19 of 27 from the free throw line. Grambling is now on a 5-game win streak, and the Tigers, Scotty, have now won back-to-back regular season championships.
That's what's up. That is what's up. The crazy thing is I remember probably 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. So I'm in Swacking the Fool group in the Facebook group, and somebody said they wouldn't make the tournament, and G was like, I bet you. I was this close. To betting him that he wasn't gonna make the tournament. Next thing you know, they on the 4 or 5, now they on the 7-game, but I think it was a 3-game winning streak. Now in the 7-game winning streak, them boys about to be. But the one thing you can always count on, listen, you can count on Alcorn to do one or two things: win a lot of regular season games and lose in the first round. You can guarantee it. For the last 2 years, them Bamas have lost in the first round. You can guarantee it. All right, it's like seeing Gonzaga. It's like seeing Gonzaga in the Final Four. You know they're gonna lose. Like Gonzaga ain't never making it to a national championship. You know they're gonna lose in the Final Four. They always do it. It's the same thing with Alcorn. They lose in the first round. That's what they do.
So you don't believe in the BBB?
Yeah. Unless you're talking about Big Baller Brand. Unless you talk about the Big Baller Brand.
Maybe I am talking about Big Baller Brand.
Yeah, you can't be talking about them Braves. That's what you can't be talking about. Them Bamas are known for a first round exit. All right. Last topic of the day. Before we get up out of here, call lines are open: 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
See, that's what y'all said for the last 2 years. This year gonna be different. Yeah, and then you get knocked out in the first round.
Don't that sound pretty familiar for you?
What do you mean?
Cowboys.
I knew you was. That's why I didn't want to. That's why I didn't want to go too far with it.
I'm sorry.
That's why I want to go too far with it, because I was like, he might. I don't know where he's gonna take this. I don't know where he's taking this, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna indulge all the way.
My bad. I know it'll get touchy up in here tonight. I apologize.
So it is what it is. All right. Here we go. Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark. Is she the GOAT of women's basketball? Me? No, absolutely not. It's an absolute no for me. If I'm being honest, she's probably not even in my top 5, if I'm being honest. But I think, to me, this is how I view Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, to me, is what Larry Bird is for white people when they're talking about, like, oh, we had a guy. Like, because it's just been so many black. It's such a dominated sport by blacks that when they get that one, they put that one on a mountain. And I just can't. For me, my GOAT is Maya Moore. That's my. I don't like. I'm not a Candace Parker fan. People say it's Candace Parker, Simone Augustus. I love Cheryl Swoops. I was a big Cheryl Swoops fan back in the day. Like, I love Cheryl Swoops. You can go with a bunch of players, but my GOAT is Maya Moore. But Barry, I'll open up to you. Is she the GOAT?
I don't even like that term GOAT because it's generational. It can go over so many different ways with different people. I think she is greatness, and we're in an age to be able to watch her greatness. I won't say GOAT, but I will put her up there with some of the best that have done it. She's a tough gal. She gets it done. And no disrespect, whether she white or black, it does not matter. She can get it done. And who cared about Iowa women's basketball, right? Let's just talk about that first and foremost. Nobody.
But okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm
just saying,
starting somewhere to show where I'm starting is to show where she has left her mark.
But
right?
to me, that goes. It will be, and you could listen. Okay, in Iowa, there is no expectation to win. Caitlin gave them an expectation to win because that's how good she is. But there's no like banners hanging up in the rafters. Like when you go to UConn and Tennessee and LSU, right? Like there's people that you look up in the rafters and you're like, dang, I got to compete with that, right? There's not that at Iowa. So to me, yes, she's a great scorer, but there was no like you just do what you want to do at Iowa. Like it's just.
And that's what I'm saying. She made her legacy, just like in those other gyms before you was able to see that first banner or whoever that young lady was that made her mark. Somebody had to be the first. Somebody had to be able to set the standard. I'm not saying she's the GOAT. I'm saying you can just put her up there as one of the greatest because, once again, I don't like using the term GOAT because it's generational. It's what you've been able to see with your eyes. You know, it's the same way with the LeBron, Michael Jordan talk. There's kids today never saw Michael Jordan, so they don't understand. But they watch LeBron. Then you have that small in between that watch Kobe. All of them are great. I can't just throw GOAT. All of them are great in their perspective era. Because think about the guys that played before we was even born that we never got to see, right? So I'm not gonna hate on her. She is a great.
I don't think nobody hating. But I get what you said.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't want nobody to take anything away. She's a great basketball player. She's exciting to watch. And I think to just watch what she's been able to do has been a treat if you like women's basketball and if you like basketball, period. And the amount of points that she's put up and the things that she's done has to be respected. Can we give her a round of applause?
Yeah.
And I'll put it to that level. I won't call her the GOAT, but I would definitely say she's GOAT-ish because she can put her name up there with the greats. I think what'll really solidify her, especially in the lore of Iowa, is she can bring home a national title this year.
This is my thing. This is my thing, right? I'm just trying to. I know this analogy is probably not going to hit like it should, but I feel like what considers her great? That she puts up a lot of points but doesn't win, or she wins champion? Like if let me give you, like, if she would have went, if she was a back-to-back national champion and wasn't the all-time leading scorer. Matter of fact, is she in your top 5 of greatest of all time of women basketball players?
I don't even have a top 5 of women, basketball players. That's just being honest.
That's fair.
I'm not even, to be honest, women's basketball outside of UConn, the Tennessee, South Carolina and LSU really having me paying attention to it a lot more lately. And then with Iowa and the whole Caitlin Clark and what happened last year with all of this, women's basketball just was not my thing. I've watched some great players. Of course, I watched when LSU had their years, and then Tennessee. I love Candace Parker. UConn, you couldn't help but notice UConn for years. It was UConn. I don't care how good the rest of the teams, Notre Dame, Stanford, even Baylor, it didn't matter. You watch certain teams. So I watched more of the team ball than I did individual players. She stood out to me a little bit more now that I'm paying attention. And I think that may be the part of the conversation too, that how many people actually watched and paid attention consistently to the young women that came before her and the game and what they was able to present. And I will be honest and upfront, I didn't watch individual play as consistently. I watched a lot of dynasty and team basketball compared to what I'm noticing today with Caitlin Clark.
I'll say this. I think people need to respect. The thing I like about Caitlin is just as good as she's a shooter, she's a great passer. She has great court vision. I don't know if you've watched this girl play. Her court,
of course.
Her court vision for her teammates is amazing. But let me say this. I would take Diana Taurasi over her. I would take Maya Moore over her. I would take Candace Parker over her. I would take Simone Augustus over her. Of course, Cheryl Swoops, Cheryl Miller. To me, Breonna Stewart, I don't know. That to me is where I think I would take Caitlin Clark over Breonna Stewart. That's just me personally. I think if you put Caitlin Clark on a loaded team, I don't think she's the all-time leading scorer, but I do think they're national championship contenders. Like they probably win eyes closed. If you have a dominant team, like if she had another dominant player, I think they're a national championship, and it's not even. I don't think we're even having this conversation.
And greatness conversations typically go all over the place because you'll have a lot of people say championships make you great. You know, she's individually done, but the amount of points she's put up, she's a scorer. When she touches the court, you know she getting buckets. And I think at the end of the day, that's for anybody when you get on the basketball court, you want to get buckets.
Yeah.
She's getting buckets. So, you know, for me, you know, that's why I don't like the GOAT talk because there are a lot of, you know, it changes. Go to the barbershop and bring up GOAT talk and watch how many different viewpoints what a GOAT is to somebody.
Yeah.
Right? They played defense. Well, no, they didn't play off. Well, they play off. They won championships. They didn't win. GOAT talk can go a lot of different ways. I will say she has to be honored. Will we remember her? I hope we do, because to score this amount of points and for us to witness that, that's truly remarkable within itself.
I think it's the way she scores them, though, right? Because most great scores in women's, a lot of times, like good scores, like there's either like you have a physical quality about yourself that makes you dominant, right? Like a Brittany Griner, a Candace Parker, a Simone Augustus, like girls that are just like Aaliyah Boston, girls that are just, I'm just so much bigger than you, you can't do nothing with me, right? Caitlin Clark is a scrawny white girl who can shoot the dickens out the ball. Like I'm just talking about pull up from 30, 40, like, and just shoot the dickens. I mean, just shoot the broad leather off the ball. So I like that aspect of her game, because a quality that she does not have is that she just can't physically dominate you. She's tough going to the rim. She's a tough competitor. She can shoot it like nobody's business, but you know,
she's not the ooh and ah.
A lot of that.
You know,
a lot of that.
She don't give you ooh and ah like wow. You know, she gets it how she gets it, and she keeps on going.
Yeah.
You know, she like to energize the buddy. She just gonna keep going. It's nothing beautiful and spectacular like wow, just ooh and ah, cross up. None of that. So,
agreed. This is Caitlin's the best shooter I've ever seen. I'll give her that. The greatest shooter of women's college basketball, absolutely, hands down, is Caitlin Clark.
And that's fine, because people say the same thing about Steph. Does that necessarily say he's the greatest basketball player of all time? Yeah. But in category, he holds his weight of being a great, the same way she does. That's a lot of points this girl didn't put up, bruh.
Facts. And I think the thing for the WNBA is, because first, let's be honest, and Dre, I see you, I'm coming to you. Let's be honest. Women's basketball has more stars than men's basketball at this point. I mean, it's not even close, right? But I like Caitlin Clark going to the WNBA because a lot of that fan base, even if it's just for the first her rookie year, everybody's going to be tuned in to the WNBA to see what she becomes. And if she continues to do what she did in college in the WNBA, they might be on to something here, right? Like you might see a re-energizing of WNBA basketball, and it's sad that it takes this, but it's probably going to take a Caitlin Clark putting the WNBA on her back and making it entertaining to watch.
Hey, I'll watch it. She seems like somebody that can fit a system if you can, like a system player, and if you can make it work for her. Look, I'll watch it. Hey, I like the girl, man. Listen, no shame, no hate. Look, if people can't go out and play 21 against us and get 8 points, let alone 3,000 plus points in a career. So, listen, that is remarkable, bro. And so, I mean, That's all I got. She's great within her own right of what she's doing right now, and we're watching and getting a chance to witness greatness in what she's doing, and it'll be all over with soon for her collegiate career as March rolls on, and this will be over with. So I say enjoy it now, soak it in, and get a chance to take in what she's able to accomplish and do, because you'll look back years from now and we'll be talking about Caitlin Clark.
Absolutely. And shout out to Miss Sykes. She's absolutely right. What's sad is she's about to take a pay cut to go pro. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. That's absolutely wild. All right, Dre, coming to you.
Hey, what's up, guys? This has been a great show. Been interested. The one thing I like about Caitlin is when you're the hunted, all eyes are on you. You can't afford to take a bad day. Because if she has a bad day, they are guaranteed to lose. When you know all 5 people, and I like that she beat South Carolina last year, basically by herself. South Carolina had 5 girls that went to the WNBA, and she basically beat them by herself. And when you're not able, and we've all played sports, it's easy that if all of a sudden she had Tyler Taurasi or she had Sue Bird in the backcourt, that one had to score 30. But because she's in essence chose her hometown team that nobody wanted to go to, got to do it by herself, and the fact that she's winning. So she's not putting up points and they're 15 and 18. She's putting up points, and they've like last year they went to the Final Four. So I like the fact that she's winning, but once again, she's not at a blue blood. I mean, it's easy to go like Connecticut's a factory. It's easy to win 4 straight when you got half your team in the league. LSU's gonna have a couple of people go draft.
That's fair.
If she was on LSU, it'd be no problem. She wouldn't have 30, but they'd be the favorite. She could start for probably any team, to be honest, with no problem at guard. So she's doing it by herself. She just made a choice. This is my hometown team. I want to play for them, and none of her teammates are going pro. That's what you got to say. None of her teams are going pro, and they still win.
That's fair. So what's the whole crux of your argument?
I think she's in the conversation. But when you have great players, it's easy. We all know it's easier to win when you have more talent on you. We all know that.
So are you basing her greatness on just winning and points, or is what's your standard to greatness in this conversation?
It's a combination of both. Obviously, she hasn't won the championship, but she's gotten to the Final Four, and look who she's playing with. I think her beating South Carolina last year is big because they was loaded. Her beating South Carolina, and that's just by herself. No one thought that. South Carolina was the favorite. And when you take down the favorite, once again, by yourself, because they have pros on their squad. They got pros this year on their squad.
Yeah, they got pros every year.
Yeah. So when you by yourself, in essence, I mean, that has to be said for something. She's not playing at a blue blood by choice, though. So I think it's a combination. How she's put up points. If she wins a ring, it's going to count for her up, but I still think she's in the conversation.
Okay. I think if she wins a national championship, I don't know who I would move her over, but I mean, I think she'll be real close to my top 5. I don't know.
That'd be a great cap off to a career.
Yeah, that would be an amazing crap off to a career.
I mean,
because you also got to, once again, you got to see who you're playing with.
And it's Iowa.
So it's almost like when Alabama QBs go for all them yards and then they get to the pros and can't do nothing. Look who you're playing with at Alabama. You got the number 1 guard, the number 1 center, the number 1 tackle. You should put up yards.
I still got. I give you the South Carolina game. I'll give you that. But I can't put you over somebody who's won a national championship. That's just hard.
No.
That's just hard.
I agree with that, but I believe she's definitely in the conversation.
I think she's top 10. I think top 10 is easy top 10.
Yeah.
Easy top 10.
Yeah, I definitely think she's top 10. And once again, when you're the marquee, because she's moving money, everybody's coming to see you. And as good as South Carolina is, as good as UConn is, none of them got one person that somebody was coming to see. That people were driving 2,000 yards to see. She's making Iowa a lot of money. Her by herself.
But that's just her style of play. Like her style of play dictates that. And a lot of listen, I don't know if there is I think the only girl basketball players in my lifetime that I've seen with my own two eyes that could have this type of impact is Diana Taurasi. When she was making her run at UConn, she was just on a whole nother level. Maya Moore, when she was making her run at UConn, would have been on this level.
What she had with her though?
Listen to what you're talking about. Individual players who had the name recognition to bring money into the program. Because you got to understand, she's in a social media era. Maya Moore was not in a social media era. Diana Taurasi was not in a social media era. So if you're taking their skill set and their game and you add it to a social media era to what it is now, there's only a few players that would draw the national attention that Caitlin Clark gets. And to me, it would have been Diana Taurasi doing her run, and it would have been Maya Moore doing her run of just what it is. Candace Parker was on that fringe of social media, so she probably would have, because she had a whole bunch of hype behind her. A whole bunch of hype.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a few players in there in my lifetime that I've seen with my own two eyes that would have garnered this type of attention. Because I'll tell you what, Maya Moore and her layup package alone, the finger roll.
Maya Moore was but once again, I'm just saying, she played for UConn. They already got their fan base.
I get what he's saying, because it's like you go to UConn, it's kind of like you plug and go.
You got a fan base whether Maya Moore went there or not.
That's not the question. Listen, that's not the question. Like Tennessee is going to get people to watch Tennessee basketball if they have a star or not. It's Tennessee basketball. Yeah. It has a history. They're not doing the best, but it has a history, right? It's the same thing with UConn. UConn gonna get people to watch, and they're not what they used to be. They're not bad, but they're not what they used to be. I'm talking individualism that takes your program to another level because of the player that you have on your team, right? It's like what Aaliyah had. It's like what AJ Wilson has done with the Las Vegas Aces, right? Like, she is that girl that people come to see, even though they're winning. It's about Asia, and I think even for UConn, it was about Maya. And I didn't like Brianna. I didn't like her game. I didn't like watching her play basketball. She was annoying, right? So it was just Diana and Maya for me that I wanted to see what they were going to do. That's just that was just and Candace, right? Like those names, individualism, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a team and the program and all that type of stuff. No, because to me personally, you could take Maya Moore off of UConn and have dropped her at any other program, and her skill set alone is going to garner views because of her game. That's what I'm saying. What made her legendary is the championships.
Yeah. And Maya Moore was nice. I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying, not doing it at blue blood. You know, that's like in the pros, playing for the Lakers. Everybody wants to play for the Lakers. But when you're winning a championship in LA, it's different than winning one in Milwaukee. That's all I'm saying. And again, Iowa won't be the same next year. We know that.
Oh yeah, no, you can't replace that. Who you gonna replace that with?
UConn does though. So UConn's a blue blood. No matter how who comes in and comes out, they're always gonna have. That's what I'm saying. No matter who comes in and comes out, UConn is always gonna be UConn. Now the best player may be Maya Moore, but they're gonna have somebody else that's gonna fill that stadium. We're gonna see how many people come to Iowa next year. That's all I'm saying.
I got
you. Caring about yourself.
I got you, man. Appreciate the call, though, Dre. All right, what you got? What you got? Last thing, P, on this one.
Man, hey, I like to see her if she want to solidify. Let's see, can she make it to that natty and get it done? And I think what will be big, I don't know how much of a chance LSU got, but that to see Iowa versus LSU and this, I just think that'll be good for women's basketball. I love South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
I love Dunn. I love everything about it. I just think if you want what's good for women's basketball, that storyline of Iowa, LSU rematch and the whole thing, that was the most watched women's basketball game of all time. Of all time.
Because it gave you the racial aspect of a predominantly black team against a predominantly white team.
Predominantly white girl. It was just a white girl. It was her versus the black girls.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So in that race, so you got all the white people like, let's go, white girl, and you got all the black people like, show them why you black. You know, like that's just come down to.
And that's why I'm looking forward to that again for a rematch. America may not say, hey, but America love that. America, we thrive off that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Notre Dame versus Miami, right? Just thrive.
Catholics versus the convicts.
Just something about that right there. It's entertainment. That's the very thing I went back before talking about, man, get out your feelings if Scotty say things and do things. It's the entertainment that come with it. It didn't start with you, Scotty. It's been going on. It ain't going to end with you. It's how the game is played today. It's how the views have gotten. It's how people are getting the attention. And that's the same way with college basketball. That's why you had that whole thing at the end when Angel Reese did it. Everybody was saying
it was a prop.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Right. Then they go back and show when Caitlin Clark, that's sportsmanship. That's a will to want to win. Right. It don't matter. That's part of it. There's going to always be two sides. You can't make everybody happy. You damn sure don't go through life trying to make everybody happy. Just do what you got to do. And so I ended with that. But Caitlin Clark, much respect to her. Congratulations to what she's done. It's Iowa women's basketball. Okay. Mm-hmm. Can't nobody you can name a couple players off LSU. Name me somebody else on Iowa women's basketball team. That's it. You know what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to do it tonight. I'm trying to end it. But it was quiet in this motherfucker. I ain't hear nothing. Can nobody tell me nothing about who else is her friend or teammate on that team. So much respect to him, man. I really do. I don't care.
I should be like Ashley.
Huh?
Should have been like Ashley.
Oh, well, I can't even.
Somebody on there named, you know what? I'm about to look at it right now. I bet you somebody. I bet you somebody on there. Let me see. 24. Iowa woman.
Like everybody was talking about everybody, all the girls from that LSU championship team. Even though Iowa lost, nobody talked about nobody else on that team but Caitlin Clark.
No Ashley. No Ashley.
Who they got?
They got a Molly. See, I should have went with a Molly. Taylor, Sydney, Kylie, Kenise. She must be black because that sound black. Kate, Jada, Gabby, AJ, Ava, Sharon, Addison, and Hannah.
I would sure like to know when we get off. I'm gonna look up what are they average in the game. What are their contributions to Iowa women's basketball, right? Because ain't nobody talking about who was the names.
A whole bunch of nuns.
Molly and ain't nobody talking about them, man.
Yeah.
They talk about Caitlin. That's the one name that stand out.
Facts. 22.
That's it. So congratulations to her. Big accomplishment. That's a lot of points. I don't care. Anybody who plays sports and you out there, man, it's the team sport, but it's sometimes the individual accolades of what you was able to do just as a person. I'm not gonna say but just as a person to your contribution to the team, and it stands out. You can't help but look around, and we may not be able to appreciate it right now because it's happening in real time. This may have to be something we always said when we look at greats, that it may have to take 10, 15 years for us to understand it's not an easy feat. And what we was watching at this time was something truly special. And sometimes it takes for us to get a few years down the line to truly appreciate what somebody has done.
Yeah. And we'll see. Like you said, I think it's a great accomplishment. Shout out to Caitlin for everything that she's done, everything she's doing for the women's basketball game.
Since you on Twitter, tweet her. See if she come on the show. I mean on X.
Not too much on the ass.
So you don't tweet nobody no more. You X them.
No, everybody's still tweeting. We tweet.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody says X them. Come on, man.
X you.
Stop it.
They X me.
You still tweet.
I X them.
Nah, you tweet.
I X today. I was Xing today.
I was Xing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We about to exit stage left. All right. Anyway, listen. Until next time. Listen, you know what I'm gonna do. I'ma holla. God bless.